Some places don't look natural. They don't look ancient. They don't even look like Earth. They look designed. Across our planet are landscapes so perfectly shaped, so mathematically ordered, and so unbelievably strange that the first question almost everyone asks is the same. Who built this? The answer is somehow even more incredible. No hands carved these places. No blueprints existed. Just time, pressure, chemistry, and forces most of us never think about, quietly assembling geometry too precise to look accidental. Location 1. The Fairy Circles, Namibia. In the deserts of Namibia, something moves through the grasslands that no one has ever seen move. From above, the land looks stitched together. Thousands of bare circular patches scattered across the golden grass in a pattern so uniform it resembles a satellite image of circuitry. Each patch is nearly identical in size. Each one is spaced with eerie consistency from its neighbors, as if measured. Locals call them the footprints of the gods. Scientists call them fairy circles. For decades, researchers assumed termites were responsible, chewing away vegetation from underground. But newer studies point somewhere stranger. The grass itself may be organizing this pattern, competing for scarce water with such mathematical efficiency that empty circles form naturally, spaced almost exactly the way a computer model would predict if you ask it to optimize survival in a drought. In other words, this pattern might be nature running an algorithm, without a machine, without a mind, without anyone pressing play. Nobody fully agrees on the answer, and that unfinished mystery is exactly why scientists still fly here, still dig test plots, still record how the circles are born and how they die, decades sometimes, without a definitive explanation. If a desert can teach itself geometry, imagine what a mountain can do. Location 2. The Chocolate Hills, Bohol, Philippines. In the Philippines, on the island of Bohol, more than 1,000 identical hills rise out of the jungle like the backs of buried giants. They are almost perfectly cone-shaped, almost identical in height, scattered with uncanny regularity across the landscape, as if someone poured the same mold over and over across 60 square kilometers. Locals call them the Chocolate Hills because in the dry season, the grass browns and the whole horizon turns into rows of giant candy drops. Geologists believe these hills are the eroded remains of ancient coral reefs, pushed above sea level by the same tectonic forces that shaped the Philippine archipelago, then slowly sculpted by rainwater, dissolving the limestone from the outside in. What's left behind is nature's version of quality control, thousands of nearly matching shapes, formed not by design, but by the sheer consistency of chemistry acting on a single ancient reef for millions of years. Few people realize these hills sit on top of coral. What was once alive beneath the ocean is now standing in open air, staring at the sky. But limestone doesn't stop at hills. Sometimes it grows into an entire city. Location 3. The Stone Forest, Shilin, Yunnan, China. Deep in southern China lies a forest that isn't made of trees. It's made of stone. Sharp gray pillars rise from the earth in dense clusters, some soaring more than 40 meters into the air, packed together so tightly that walking through them feels like wandering the ruins of an abandoned metropolis. Locals named it Shilin, the stone forest, and for centuries, poets described it as a maze built by a god who forgot to finish. The science is almost as poetic as the myth. Around 270 million years ago, this entire region sat beneath a shallow sea. Limestone sediment accumulated for millions of years, layer upon layer, until tectonic uplift lifted the seabed into open air. Then came the slow sculpture, rainwater, slightly acidic, dissolving the stone unevenly along natural cracks, deepening some grooves while leaving thin blades of rock standing untouched. The result looks less like erosion and more like architecture, vertical, angular, deliberate. It's easy to imagine ancient stonemasons at work here. But the only mason was time, and the only tool was rain, falling patiently for longer than humans have existed. If limestone can build a forest, imagine what happens when the stone itself is liquid. Location 4. The Marble Caves, Cuevas de Mármol, Patagonia, Chile. Far south, in the fjords of Chilean Patagonia, there is a cave that looks like it was painted rather than formed. Cuevas de Mármol, the Marble Caves, rise from the edge of a glacial lake, their walls swirling with blue and white and gray in patterns that seem to flow like brushstrokes frozen mid-motion. Step inside by boat, and the light bounces endlessly off the polished stone, turning the entire cavern into something closer to liquid than rock. These caves are made almost entirely of calcium carbonate, deposited over roughly 6,000 years, as mineral-rich water slowly built up layer after layer of marble. But the swirling color and glassy shine aren't from paint or minerals alone. They're from the lake itself. The surrounding water, fed by glacial melt, is so mineral pure and so precisely tinted with rock flour that it reflects light back onto the cave walls, amplifying every curve and vein in the stone. Few visitors realize the caves change appearance, depending on the season. In the dry months, the water turns a deep sapphire, and the caves look almost otherworldly. In the wet season, the lake rises, sometimes swallowing the lower chambers entirely, re-sculpting the cave walls year after year, a slow, endless renovation with no architect at all. If water can paint a cave from the outside, imagine what happens when it cools from the inside, into shapes so exact they look machined. Location 5. The Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Off the northern coast of Ireland, the Atlantic Ocean crashes against something that shouldn't exist in nature. 40,000 black stone columns rise from the coastline, packed together with the precision of hexagonal tiles, some standing taller than a person, their tops flattened into a walkway that seems built for giants. This is the Giant's Causeway, and for centuries, locals swore it was exactly that, a bridge laid stone by a mythical giant crossing the sea to Scotland. The truth is less magical, but no less astonishing. Around 60 million years ago, this region erupted with molten lava that pooled and cooled with extraordinary uniformity. As the lava cooled slowly and evenly from the surface downward, it contracted and cracked. And the most efficient way for cooling rock to crack, geometrically, is into hexagons. It's the same principle that makes cracked mud form polygon patterns, or honeycomb form six-sided cells. Nature, left alone, tends to default to the most efficient shape available. It just rarely does it this perfectly, or this massively. What most visitors never learn is that this exact geological process, columnar basalt, exists on multiple continents, echoing itself in cooling lava fields thousands of miles apart. as if the planet keeps rediscovering the same blueprint. If lava can cool into architecture, imagine what happens when an entire lake starts painting itself. Location 6. Spotted Lake, British Columbia, Canada. In British Columbia, Canada, there's a lake that looks like it's been dotted by an enormous paintbrush. In summer, most of the water evaporates, leaving behind hundreds of mineral pools of different sizes, each one a slightly different shade: pale yellow, soft green, dusty blue, arranged across the lake bed like a scattered mosaic. From above, it looks less like a body of water and more like a Technicolor spreadsheet. This is Spotted Lake, and it holds one of the highest concentrations of dissolved minerals of almost any lake on Earth. Magnesium sulfate, calcium, and traces of silver and titanium among them. As the water evaporates each summer, these minerals crystallize into distinct circular pools, each one's color shaped by its unique chemical mixture. The pools don't blend into each other. They stay separated, almost as if someone sorted the elements by hand. Indigenous peoples of the region considered the lake sacred long before Western science arrived, using its mineral-rich mud for healing. Later, industrial interest in its minerals nearly led to private development of the land, before public pressure helped preserve it. What almost became a mining site is now one of the strangest natural mosaics on the continent, changing pattern every single summer. But even a lake of colored dots can't compare to a landscape shaped like a frozen wave, crashing in stone. Location 7. Wave Rock, Western Australia. And finally, in the wheat fields of Western Australia, there is a wall of granite that appears to have been captured mid-collapse. Wave Rock curls 15 meters into the air, its face streaked with vertical bands of red, gray, and gold, curving outward exactly like a tsunami about to break. Stand beneath it, and every instinct in your body says duck, even though this wave has been breaking for longer than humans have walked the continent. The rock is over 2.5 billion years old, among the oldest exposed granite formations on the planet. Its wave-like shape formed through chemical weathering at the base of the rock, where groundwater slowly dissolved and undercut the stone from below, while the exposed granite above resisted erosion far longer. Over millions of years, this uneven weathering carved a deep curve into the rock's base, leaving the upper section overhanging, frozen in a shape that mimics the exact physics of a breaking ocean wave. The colored streaks running down its face aren't paint or mineral veins. They're caused by algae and chemical runoff, staining the granite over centuries, each rainfall adding another invisible brushstroke to a 2-billion-year-old canvas. 7 places, 7 countries, 7 landscapes that seem to defy the idea that nature works without intention. But there was no blueprint, no machine, no mind guiding a single one of these formations into existence. Just grass competing for water, rock cooling at exactly the right speed, water dissolving stone one drop at a time, across timescales too long for any human mind to fully comprehend. We build cities in decades. Nature builds cathedrals in millions of years, without ever needing to understand what beauty is. Maybe that's the real revelation. Not that these places look artificial, but that nature, given enough time, doesn't need us at all to create something that looks impossible.